Okay, since I rarely do demos, let me first introduce myself. My name is Mark Barta. I work with Lombiq Technologies for 10 years. Honestly, I only introduce myself to say this number. But anyway, today's topic is about the Lombiq content editors for Orchard Core. So this feature or module was originally built for Orchard 1 a couple of years ago, and it contained a lot of interesting features for advanced content editing, including async editors, which I would like to demo today, but let's get back to it in a second. It was a closed source module of ours, but this is the rewrite on Orchard Core. So the feature I mentioned is async editor. This is the primary feature that we started using for Smithsonian Folkways. And this is about basically editing content item editors, editing content items on an editor where the posting and loading of the editors happen asynchronously. Normally, if you would like to do such implementations, normally you would do or grab library like React or Vue.js and implement it with APIs and stuff like that. However, if you go with that approach, then you won't be able to leverage a lot of display management capabilities of Orchard Core. However, if you do want to use the shapes and placement and all these features of Orchard Core, then you can use, of course, the built-in content item editor on the admin UI, but of course, that's not async. Now, this feature is solve this problem by asynchronously loading and posting the editor groups of a content item. Since I mentioned editor groups, it supports multi-page editors. And as you can see here, this is one content type called employee. And when you start editing this employee, or actually load this editor, it will first load the wrapper page, and then it will asynchronously load the personal details editor group of that content item. And the API will return the actual HTML code for this. So here is the first page. Let's give it some name. And when I click Save and Next, it will post the form to the API, and it won't reload the page. It still stays here, and the backend will validate the form as well. And then if everything goes right, then it will return the next editor group HTML code and load it to the editor. Here you can see the second editor group. And when I click Submit, then it will publish the content item. It will, of course, give you some notifications. And well, that's it. You can see the editor groups with a friendly name. I will show you how you can do this. And of course, these provide some sort of pagination as well, so you can go back and forth on the editor groups. And also, if you use the URL, which you can see the other section of this URL. This is a Vue.js routing part of the URL. So again, I'm using Vue.js here. And if you load this to your browser, then it will automatically load that specific editor group of that specific content item. If I start a very new one, then you can see the second editor group is disabled because there's an option to disable certain pages until the previous editor group is not filled. You can do these editors on the front end as well. Sometimes it's actually useful if you want to build a form or async form on the front end. Like, I don't know, the contact form might be a little bit simple, but a very good example of such async editors is the Smithsonian music license request form, which we built for Toby at Smithsonian. I won't click through this this editor, but as you can see, it contains a lot of editor groups already, each field with specific fields, and you can't really, jump through these unless you fill the previous one. So this is a really good, nice use case already for this. And yeah, I would like to show you just a really, very simple code here. The core element of the implementation of your editors is the content item async editor provider. With this, you will be able to describe your editor groups. Like, for example, here you can see two editor groups defined for the employee content type. First one is the personal details. You can, of course, give it a friendly name. This will be displayed on the pagination or on the pager. And the other one is the employment details. Again, this is, you can provide a friendly name, and you can mark one editor group as a published group. And if it's a published group, then of course, instead of save button, it will show, well, submit, but it could show publish or anything else. Obviously, you can override these shapes and customize those to your needs as well. If you are interested in how you can build your own content editor or async editor, well, you can check out this repository, and here you will find a sample project. And inside the sample project, which is this one, you will find a very detailed documentation about how you can implement your own. It has training sections. So, like, for example, if you are interested in how to implement a simple content item async editor, then you can go through the documentation with stations that guide you basically how to implement your own editor. One thing I forgot to mention, it also supports inline scripts, or it can basically load scripts as well. Like if, for example, one editor page has a script inside it, then it supports it. So even if it's loaded asynchronously, the browser will evaluate the script, and you will be able to implement it. Like just a very quick example here, save and text, and on this click me button, if you click on it, then, well, a very simple operation happens in JavaScript. Okay, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.